イクチェック、マイクチェック、マイクチェック、マイクチェック。はいはいはい。マイクチェック、マイクチェック、マイクチェック。はっはっはっはっはっはっはっは。はっはっはっはっはっはっはっは。
すみません、会見の開始時間なんですが、10分程度遅くなりそうです。すみませんが、よろしくお願いします。
Hello, the start time will be delayed in 10 minutes. Thank you.
すみません、開始時間もう少し押しそうです。皆さんもう少々お待ちいただければと思います。 すいません、大変ながらお待たせしていて申し訳ありません。おそらく55分頃に開始になるかと思います。55分頃開始になるかと思います。もう少々お待ちいただければと思います。よろしくお願いします。
Sorry for the delay, but I'd like to ask you to wait another 10 minutes. Thank you.まもなく皆さんいらっしゃいますので、もう少々お待ちいただければと思います。
So good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the closing press conference of the 9th visit of the IOC Coordination Commission for the Tokyo 2020 Olympic and Paralympic Games. I'm delighted today to have with us at the table in the centre, next to me, John Coates, Chair of the IOC's Coordination Commission for the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020. To Chair Coates' immediate left, we have President Mori of the Tokyo 2020 Organising Committee. To my immediate left, we have Christophe Duby, the IOC's Olympic Games Executive Director. To the left of President Mori, we have Toshiro Muto, the CEO of Tokyo 2020. And at the far end of the table, my colleague Masa Takaya, spokesperson for Tokyo 2020. I'm Robert Roxburgh, the Head of Olympic Games Communications at the IOC, and without further ado, I'll pass the floor to Chair Coates for his opening remarks.
Thank you, Robert. Ladies and gentlemen, it's, as you know, always a pleasure to be back here in Tokyo, and particularly when it's an active agenda. We've had a very productive, it says here 3 days, but of course I've had a productive week, having my first meeting with Governor Koike and the other representatives of the TMG last Friday. In respect, though, of the traditional work of the Coordination Commission, I'm very pleased to confirm that, again, strong progress. We've had, of course, there's the discussions were dominated with the move of the marathon and the race walks to Sapporo, and I won't labour on those matters. I'm sure that you will have the opportunity to question me on them. The working groups went through the transport, the media arrangements. We had our first presentation of the arrangements for the transport of the various stakeholder groups to the main stadium for the opening ceremony. Athletes, international dignitaries, other members of the Olympic family, and spectators. I should say we inspected the National Stadium and were very impressed. We inspected the new hockey venue. The permanent grandstand is outstanding. You're right on top of the hockey, and I think it's going to be a wonderful legacy for hockey in this country. We went to the tennis venue. The main centre court has been renovated. The second one is to be prepared, and some of the outside courts. But I think that there's only 3 venues remaining, and they're 85% complete, so we have no worries in that regard. We, in a lot of areas, transport, a lot of detailed presentations there. The planning's there. We just need to see it in operation. We need to see price control. We need to see traffic demand management, the initiatives there in operation. The planning looks very good. They presented to us, for example, the times that for the transport of athletes to the different venues. Want to see that tested, but there's time for that. Further test events happening. Legacy, we paid attention to that. Often you have these new venues, but then there is not a plan in place where the national federations know how to properly utilise them, and so I think the worries are going to be in the not for judo, not for Budokan, but places like the rowing, canoeing, places like the hockey. They're the ones we want to see particular attention given to the legacy use of these venues. Enthusiasm remains high. I understand there's 500,000 applications to be a torchbearer. Fantastic. And again, that confirms what we've seen in the applications for tickets to the Games. The phenomenal support of the One Team Japan approach is certainly paid off. Your marketing, I think that's been finalised now. So you've reached your goals. 65 domestic sponsors, an incredible accomplishment. So all in all, we're very pleased. We'll be back here. Well, there'll be a report to the IOC Executive Board in December by video. We'll be back here for project review in February, final coordination commission meeting in mid-April, and then middle of May, what we call an executive PR review. And I just damaged, Robert, my earphone. Would you give me another, please? Sure. That's it. President Murray, your turn. Thanks.
コーツさんありがとうございました。今、コーツさんからお話がありましたように、3日間の会議を終えました。交通委員長、ギラディ副委員長、そして NTP さん、皆さん大変多くのご意見をいただきました。委員の皆さんも大変ご熱心でございました。中でもファイサル王子などももちろん正式メンバーですが、熱心に議論しておられましたし、特にモナコ大公もですね、議長役を買って出てまとめ役をしておられましたり、本当に熱のこもった IOC の皆さんのご協力に本当に感謝を申し上げる次第です。個々の件につきまして今、コーツさんからお話がございましたし、私からは少し補足的にだけ申し上げます。10月中旬に IOC から伝えられましたマラソン競歩の札幌移転につきまして、我々も突然のことでありまして大変驚きましたが、本日の4者協議で、議論の到達点に達しまして、東京都におかれましては大英断ともいえる決断をされました。改めて、敬意を表したいと思います。マラソン競歩につきましては、多くの都民、そして地元自治体の皆さんにも大変楽しみにしておられますとともに準備にもさまざまなご尽力をいただいておりましただけに大変申し訳ないことだと思っております。会議の中では交通委員長からもバー会長のメッセージが紹介をされるなど IOC から多くのオリンピックファンへの配慮の気持ちが示されました。大会を応援いただくファンへの気持ちは私たちも全く同じでございます。しっかりと受け止めて改めて関係者がワンチームとして大会の成功に尽力したいと思います。なお4者協議後、私から秋元札幌市長、鈴木北海道知事に連絡をいたしました。お二方とも大変光栄であり、今後しっかり準備をしてやるとこうおっしゃっておられまして、4者協議関係団体の皆さんにもこれからご指導、ご協力いただきたいと、このようにお話になっておられました。改めて正式な文書をコーツさんと私がサインをいたしまして、先方にお送りする予定であります。今後でありますが、大会まで9ヶ月を切っておりますことから、IOC とも相談しまして、早急に札幌市、北海道、組織委、IOC、IF ら関係者と準備体制を整えたいと考えております。また大会準備にあたりましては時間が限られておりますこと、またコスト節約の必要があることから、施設整備や運営面での効率化を図ることが重要だと考えております。12月に予定されている IOC 理事会にスタート地点、ゴール地点、コース等の承認を得られるよう準備を進める方針であります。地元関係者のご協力を得て密に協議しながら進めてまいります。また昨日 IPC のパーソンズ会長ともミーティングを行い、パラリンピックのマラソンについては東京開催の方針を改めて確認をいたしました。両大会の成功に向けて東京で開催されるパラリンピックマラソンの準備に引き続き努めてまいります。なお、暑さ対策の観点から複数のスポーツで競技時間の前倒しを議論しております。 その中でトライアスロン及び馬術については、競技時間の前倒しを進めることで IOC、IF と共通認識に至りました。トライアスロンにつきましては、男子、女子、混合リレー、それぞれ1時間前倒しをする方向であります。馬術については、総合馬術のクロスカントリーの開始時刻を7時半から8時の間で調整中であります。正式には IOC 理事会において最終決定いただけるように協議を続けてまいります。その他のトピックといたしましては、暑さと並んで懸案の移送につきましては、交通需要マネジメントと交通システムマネジメントに関する今年の夏のテスト成果を踏まえまして、大会に向けて実効性を高めるべく具体的な議論を行いました。またテストイベントにつきましては、全体の半分を終えたところであります。ウェーブの22イベントで2000人のスタッフが参加し、ここで得た学びの要点を調整員の皆様にも共有したところであります。また会場におきます迅速な課題解決についてご意見をいただきました。多岐にわたる議論で、それぞれの担当者も準備の大詰めにしつつあるご意見をいただきました。いよいよ大会開幕まで300日を切りました。議論もますます具体的になってまいりました。大会に向けて IOC、IPC の皆様と気を引き締めて準備を進めていきたいと思います。コーツ委員長はじめ皆さん、3日間本当にありがとうございました。メディアの皆様のご協力にも感謝いたします。ありがとうございました。Thank you.
Thank you. ありがとうございます。それでは皆様からご質問をお受けしたいと思います。この会見、もともと2時半から3時でご案内しておりましたが、開始が少し遅れましたので、3時20分をめどにやらせていただきたいと思います。それではご質問がある方、挙手をお願いいたします。はい、中村さんどうぞ。
NHK の中村と申します。議論お疲れ様でした。交通委員長に伺います。まさにその札幌での、マラソンと競歩のことなんですけども、札幌でこれを実施する経費については IOC が負担すべきだとお考えでしょうか。もう一点がですね、アスリートファーストという観点からの決定ということですけども、新国立競技場にゴールしたいと期待するアスリートもおりました。そのアスリートの思いにどのように応えられるでしょうか。
On the question of the cost of conducting it in Sapporo, we need to find out what that is. And at this stage, all that's decided is that the Tokyo municipal government will not be bearing any of that cost. And in respect of the issue of some athletes having prepared for and preferring to compete in Tokyo, the offer that we've made is still on the table, and I think will happen that the medal ceremonies for the two marathons will happen in the closing ceremony. That was an initiative of the President at the outset, our President. We think that the race walkers will have the same opportunity to have their medals presented in athletic sessions. There is amongst the athletic community quite a divide as to those who've been preparing for extreme heat. I'm told by IAAF, you've got that group, and then you've got the group of African competitors who are very much in favour of the move to Sapporo. The responsibility we have, though, in terms of the health of the athletes is probably to look at the lowest common denominator and to make sure that all athletes, that the health of all athletes will not be prejudiced, and we think that this decision clearly leads us down that path.
はい、ありがとうございます。結城さんどうぞ。
Thank you. Wakako Yuki from the Yomiuri Shimbun-chan. You probably know very well that a marathon especially hold special place in a Japanese heart historically. And of course, the IOC had made the decision for the betterment of the situation, but as a consequence, a generation, youngsters especially, were not having these kind of memory, which could have handed down in the history of their own family as a maybe Olympic experience. What is your thoughts there? What would you like to say to those youngsters? And also, would you hope that this anniversary marathon could compensate for it?
Yeah, very aware of the special place of marathons in the minds of the Japanese. It was Takahashi who won the marathon in Sydney, the women's marathon. I've forgotten her Christian name, first name. Yes, one of the reasons for us, President Bark, when the question came up about what will you use the course for, is there a way we can use it? Well, one of the reasons behind his suggesting we have the celebration marathon is just to bring a big marathon to the people again. But in all of this, and it was one of the messages that I gave to the Governor last Friday, sure we wanted good memories for the children, the next generation of athletes, distance runners, but we also didn't want bad memories. We didn't want bad memories of Tokyo. We didn't want Tokyo being, with all of the good work that's gone into your preparations, we didn't want Tokyo being remembered both in the minds of your people, but the minds internationally by some of the scenes we saw in Doha. So health of the athletes and good memories were very much front of mind for us in this decision.
はい、ありがとうございます。他にいかがでしょうか。はい、一ノ瀬さんどうぞ。
There's one over there.
ごめんなさい。一ノ瀬さんどうぞ。
フジテレビの一ノ瀬と申します。コーツ委員長にお聞きします。すでに支出した経費で都が別の目的に活用できないものは都が負担しないという点についてです。別の目的に活用できるかどうかは誰がどのように、判断するのでしょうか。仮に 4社での協議となった場合に最終的に決定権を待つのは IOC というふうに考えてよろしいのでしょうか。お聞きします。
That's the final. No, it's not actually the position. There's arbitration clauses built into all our agreements over the conduct of these games, but it won't get to that. There'll be a mutual examination, three-party examination of the money that's been spent, an examination of the utilisation of the marathon course. You've already heard that it looks like the International Paralympic Committee will conduct their marathon on that course, and there's the proposed anniversary marathon. So that will minimise, that addresses to some extent the concerns of TMG about the costs that they have borne. Some of the other changes to the special paving that's been laid, that's a general benefit that will inure anyway. So much work to be done on that. But the IOC will not walk away from any obligations it has, I can assure you of that, in respect of any adverse financial consequences.
はい、ありがとうございます。他にいかがでしょうか。スティーブ。
Mr. Coates, Stephen Wade from AP. Why was the change made so abruptly? You guys have had 5 or 6 years to contemplate this. You knew the weather conditions here for a long time. You say it's the health of the athletes. I remind you in Beijing, you had athletes arriving on the plane with masks on, fear of breathing in PM25, and you didn't cancel the marathon there. So why the urgency here? Would you have treated the United States or China in the same way? Would you have acted arbitrarily as you did with Japan?
If marathons there were conducted in the aftermath of what we saw in Doha, the answer is yes.
はい、ありがとうございます。他にいかがでしょうか。窓際のでは国際メディアの方。
Julian Linden from the Daily Telegraph. Question for Mr. Coates, not about the marathon. Just wanted to see your reaction to the revelations this week that Russian hackers conducted cyber attacks on Australian athletes, and in your role with the AOC, how alarmed are you that Australian athletes have been targeted in this way? And as a follow-up question, given Russia's recent history, is there any feasible way that they can be trusted enough to compete at Tokyo next year?
We've had the hacking experience previously with not just Australian but other athletes, and I think there was an accessing of WADA materials, not the accessing of any information that AOC held, and of course we're upset with the hacking of any sensitive, any medical, personal, and private information. They are matters that are being addressed, I'm sure, by WADA, as they were previously, and depending about the nexus between the hackers and Russian authorities, the Russian Olympic Committee, Russian athletics, then they are matters that, first off, I think would be considered by the WADA Compliance Committee. That's where it starts, and I think they are looking at all of these things. They all make a decision on whether WADA remains, whether Russian anti-doping, whether the Russian Olympic Committee, whether Russian track and field remain WADA compliant, and then there is a process as to possible sanctions if they're not compliant, which the IOC would abide by.
ありがとうございます。他にいかがでしょうか。原田さんどうぞ。
東京新聞の原田と申します。コーツさんにお伺いします。今回突然の決定、そして一方的な決定になったことで、東京都民の人は怒りや悲しみの感情が渦巻いています。その混乱を招いた責任を IOC は責任を感じていますか。また、都民に対して謝罪する意思はありますでしょうか。
The president of the IOC said today that in his letter to the governor, I admit that I can fully understand these concerns of the people of Tokyo, who are preparing so enthusiastically and efficiently for the Olympic Games. Through you, I'd like to ask the people of Tokyo for their understanding that the IOC had to take this decision in order to safeguard the health of the athletes. Athletes' health and well-being is a top priority for the IOC. I'm confident that also the people of Tokyo are sharing the commitment to the athletes' health and understand the unfortunate situation that the IOC was in. I also ask for your kind understanding for having taken the decision so quickly, because we had to give the athletes the most time to adapt to this new venue and to shape their training and preparations accordingly. And then there was the alternative of the Olympic celebration marathon, and an opportunity to say thank you to the people of Tokyo and the Tokyo Municipal Government for their outstanding contribution, and I'm very pleased that the Governor, the Minister for Sport and the Tokyo 2020 very much responded to that, and that was gratefully accepted today.
はい、ありがとうございます。他にいかがでしょうか。森さんどうぞ。
日本テレビの森と申します。コーツ委員長にお尋ねいたします。アスリートファーストの観点ということで、小池知事が今日の会談の最後にですね、本当にアスリートファーストの観点からすれば、今後大会の開催時期についても検討するべきじゃないかという話がありました。IOC が改革をして、開催都市以外で競技を開催することができるようにしたということは存じ上げておりますけれども、大会の開催時期そのもの、あるいはですね、夏季の競技の一部分を冬季に移すとか、そういったもう少しドラスティックな改革というのは今後、この東京一つの試金石として今後取り組んでいくお考えというのはあるでしょうか。
I think winter games will remain games on ice and on snow. But I did respond to her today, and I had previously last Friday to the Governor, that, as I said, there's now provision for if you had a situation like this before and again, and you had Tokyo, for example, bidding, they could have come to us in the future, could have come and said, look, we want to make this a bid now of a number of host cities. We want Tokyo to do the preponderance of events. We want Enoshima to do the sailing. We want Izu to do the some of the cycling, and we would like to go. We propose to go to Sapporo with the colder climate for these athletes, for these events where it puts the endurance athletes under most stress. So that's there, and that's already there. Those changes, and I think that it's a sufficient way forward for the future, and that's what I tried to explain to her.
はい、他にいかがでしょうか。はい、そちらの男性の方、前から2人目の方どうぞ。
すみません、北海道放送の森と申しますけれども、今日の4者協議の中で、費用負担について、札幌市と北海道と協議するというお話があったんですけれども、費用負担については札幌市、北海道にも求めていくということなんでしょうか。そしてそもそも追加の費用はどれくらいと見込んでいるのでしょうか。
Well, the burden of the event in Sapporo and Hokkaido is a matter for the Tokyo 2020. The IOC's compensation is, if any, is going to be directed to what is no longer being used and what was prepared for use within Tokyo. But if we don't know what we're talking about in Sapporo. If this is an unexpected, unforeseen event, then it is also something that the IOC would sit down and work through any contribution by us. But until we see a figure, it's nothing that nothing that President Mori would expect me to give a tick of approval to.
ありがとうございます。インサイダーゲームズ。
Man in the green tie.
Yeah, Michael Pavitt from Inside Games. John, we've heard through the candidature reform process over the last sort of year or couple of months that the IOC will not dictate terms to cities and will work in partnership with them. Do you fear that critics will look at this decision to move the marathon and say the IOC are dictating terms to a host city?
There's been no stepping back from the fact that and it'll be the same next editions, I'm sure, that the host city now host contract and the Olympic Charter leaves a clear competency and authority in the IOC to take decisions like this where it's necessary. And I don't think that that's at odds with the Agenda 2020 reforms in terms of flexibility. If you suddenly become aware of something, you've got to have the right to respond to that, just as happened here, albeit very quickly because of the experience in Doha.
ありがとうございます。お時間の限りあと2つほどにさせていただきます。長谷川さんどうぞ。
共同の長谷川と申します。コーツ委員長にお尋ねなんですが、バッハさんが提案されたオリンピックセレブレーションマラソンについてお尋ねしたいんですけれども、これはもう少し具体的にどういう大会をイメージされているのか。例えばその一般的なマラソンよりもマラソンと違ってですね、東京オリンピックに出場したようなトップレベルの選手は IOC が働きかけて例えば開催するとか、何かそういった工夫なりというものを考えているんでしょうか。
All of that has to be determined, particularly with the IAAF, particularly with the Japanese National Athletics Federation. But my own thought is that this would be a marathon that would encompass high-profile athletes and fun runners, just as the big marathons that you have a big one in Tokyo, I think, that includes a lot of people. many of the countries around the world have that. We would, because of the particular purpose of this, we'd like to see as much opportunity for a mass participation, I suppose. We are already planning a mass marathon in Paris as part of the new way of presenting games during the games period, perhaps, or just before. So mass marathon, opportunity for children, opportunity for seniors, and certainly hope that we can attract some of the high-profile leading marathon runners from around the world.
はい、ありがとうございます。最後の質問では筒井さんどうぞ。
日経新聞の筒井と申します。コーツ委員長にお伺いしたいと思います。2点お伺いします。今回、4者協議があってですね、小池知事は、動揺しないということをおっしゃってました。小池知事は15日、発表の直前にですね、札幌開催を知らされたということなんですけれども、もう少しですね、早く事前にですね、協議しておけばよかったとは思わないかということとですね、あともう一点、今後札幌開催に向けてですね、乗り越えていくべき課題、ハードルというもの、どういうものがあるか、お考えありましたら教えてください。
I think I've indicated the IOC thought it important to move quickly. She was, there were discussions with her for the first time on the 15th, again on the 16th, and the decision was taken on the 16th. The first discussions with the IAAF was on the 16th as well. This was all necessitated by the need in the IOC's eyes to move swiftly and to not leave this open to conjecture and debate. Was there a second part to that? That'll do, thank you very much. Good.
すみません。それでは記者会見の方以上とさせていただきます。I'm passing back the floor over to you, Robert.
Thank you, Masha. Thank you everybody for coming, and we'll see you next year for our next visit. Thank you very much.
すみません。皆様ありがとうございました。
Yeah, I'm leaving now because I'm going to the rugby.
President as well?
Yes.
Going to rugby.